Good morning dear students, welcome to my video. Today we are going to start a new chapter 3, circles. So before starting, we will just recollect what we have learned in earlier classes about circles. Can you just give me examples of circular things which you are seeing around us? Yes, there are so many things which are in circular shape. Bangles, CD, all the vehicles tires, cycle tire, two-wheeler tire, all that, even car tire, everything is in circular shape only. Then open wells, generally it will be in circular shape only. Then pulley, for pulling the water we will use. Many things are there which are in circular shape, and that's why it's very much necessary to understand about circles. So what is a circle? What is the definition of a circle? Do you remember? Yes, you have learned already in the earlier classes. Circle is a collection of all points in a plane. See here, plane means what? The surface is called plane. So each and every point, here you can see so many points together will make the circle. These all the points are equal distance from one fixed point. And this fixed point we will call it as center of the circle. Usually we will represent it by O. So each point on the circle are equal distance. See, this distance will be same, this distance also will be same, this also will be same, like that. Each and every point's distance from the fixed point will be same only. So the definition is, the circle is a collection of all points in a plane which are a constant distance from a fixed point. So that fixed point is the center of the circle, and this distance is called the radius of the circle, represented by small letter r. So if any point if you take, for example, if I am taking A, OA distance will be r, or radius of the circle. So the distance between the center of the circle and any point on the circle is called as radius. Radius represented by small letter r. Now what you have learned about circle. Next, chord. So any 2 points if you select, the distance between the 2 points is called the chord, or you can say that line segment joining any 2 points on the circle is called a chord. So here if I am representing by PQ, PQ is the chord here. Next comes a part of a circle. See, any part of the circle, you will call it as arc. Arc is a part of a circle. If you are representing by X, Y, arc is represented by, see, like this, X, Y. So if any point in between if you are representing, for example, see, if I am representing X, C, Y, you can put, this is the representation of arc. So radius, chord, arc. Then next comes segment. Segment of a circle. Segment is the area bounded by any chord and the corresponding arc. So this is an arc, PQ is an arc, and PQ here it is chord. PBQ you just write. So PBQ is the arc and PQ represents the chord. So in between the area we will call it as segment. So segment is nothing but the area bounded by any chord and the corresponding arc. So next comes sector. Sector means you have to take 2 radius. First radius, second radius. So you can mark it as OX. Here X already we have marked, Y already we have marked. So OX and OY are 2 radius and XCY is the corresponding arc. So the area bounded by 2 radius and the corresponding arc, we will call it as sector. So we have learned now radius, chord, arc, segment and sector. Now what about the diameter? Diameter is double the radius, that is 2r you can say, and it is represented by small letter d. So diameter is the line joining any two points, but it should pass through the center of the circle. So here Mn, if I am marking, Mn is passing through the circle, the center of the circle. So Mn is nothing but the biggest chord. This is also a chord. Chord means any two points if you join that line segment, you will call it as chord. So Mn is a chord, but it is passing through the center of the circle. So Mn is the diameter here. It is double the radius, 2 times. Here also one radius, here also. So 2 times radius. That will be the length of the diameter. And we can draw infinite number of diameters in a circle. We can draw infinite number of chords in a circle. Anywhere if you join also you will get chord. So if the chord is passing through the center of the circle, then you will get the diameter. This all you have learned in previous classes. Now let us consider the different situations that can arise when a circle and a line are given in a plane. So here one circle and one line is given. Line name is PQ and this is the circle. See, this is figure 1, first figure. This is figure 2, second figure, and this is third figure. So 3 cases I have drawn here. In the first figure, you see the PQ line is not touching the circle. It is not touching. Second figure, PQ line is just touching the circle at one point. In the third figure, the PQ line has entered inside the circle and it is touching 2 points, A and B. Here only one point, A. Here no touching only. It's not touching. So in this first case, you can say that the line PQ and the circle doesn't have any common points. So line PQ is called non-intersecting line. Non-intersecting. Intersecting means touching. So it is non-intersecting line. PQ here it is non-intersecting because since there doesn't have any common point for line PQ and the circle. Figure 2 you see. It is touching in one point. So there is one common point for the circle and the given line PQ. So in this case, the line PQ, we will call it as tangent. So if there is a single point or the line touches the circle at one point, or if there is a common point for the circle and the line, then that line you will call it as tangent. So PQ is tangent here. In the third case, PQ has entered inside the circle. So there are 2 common points for the circle and the line, which is marked as A and B here. So in this case, there are 2 common points for the circle and the line. So line PQ, here it is called secant. So secant PQ. So these are the 3 cases when a line and a circle is given in the plane. So there are 3 possibilities. So first one is non-intersecting line, where the circle and the line is not touching, there is no common point. Second figure, the circle is touching at one point, that means only one common point between circle and the line. So PQ is called the tangent PQ. And third one, the line and the circle have 2 common points, that is A and B here. Then the line you will call it as secant. So these are the 3 possibilities. So in this chapter, we are going to study about the existence of the tangents to a circle and also some properties of the tangents. So first property of the tangent, that is, a tangent to a circle is a line that intersects the circle at only one point. See, I have drawn one tangent, tangent AB, and the point where it is touching, that I have marked it as P. This point we will call it as point of contact. P is the point of contact. So P is called the point of contact. Point of contact is nothing but the circle and the line where it is meeting, where it is touching. That point is called the point of contact. Now this circle is touching the line at P. So P is called the point of contact and AB is called the tangent. Now you have to see that this tangent to a circle is a line that intersects the circle at only P. Now rotate the line, keeping the line at P only. This P is not changing, the line you are rotating. So if when you will rotate, the line will be here only. I mean the point will be, touching point will be there only. Then line will be moving like this. Then again if you are rotating, again the point P will not change. The line will come like this. So again if you are rotating, the line will come like this. So the point P you should not change, the line you just keep moving or rotate it. Then what will happen? See, in the second case you see it is touching 2 points. Third case you see it is touching again 2 points. Here also it is touching in 2 points. So the tangent has become secant here. If it is touching in 2 points, it will change to secant. So only in this case it is touching at 1 point. So that's why we will tell there is only one and only one tangent we can draw through 1 point on a circle. If you take another 1 point, you just take M. Through M, you can draw the tangent only like this. So this is a tangent through M. So M is the point of contact. If you just rotate this side, the line will come like this, like this, like this. Anyway it can come, but don't change M. So the tangent will change to secant, but tangent, only one tangent you can draw through a given point. We can have only one tangent at a given point. So this is the first property. A tangent to a circle is a line that intersects the circle at only 1 point. And through 1 point, only one tangent you can draw. Second property is, the tangent to a circle is a special case of the secant when the two endpoints of the corresponding chord coincide. See, here it is given one circle and PQ is the secant because it is touching at 2 points. 2 common points are there for the circle and the line PQ. So this is a secant. So circle and secant it is given. Now we have to check that the tangent to the circle is a special case of secant. So secant, when it will change to tangent? You just move this secant to this side also and this side also, both the sides. Draw various lines parallel to the secant on both sides. See, like this. See, one parallel line, one parallel secant, another parallel secant, one more parallel secant, then next it is touching now. This side also you just draw parallel secant, one more parallel secant, then finally it's touching at 1 point. So this is PQ secant we have given. So both the sides we are drawing parallel secants. Now you will find after some steps, see here, after few lines, the length of the chord cut by the lines. See here, this is the length of the chord, PQ's length of the chord. Here A if I mark and B, AB is the chord. And after next step, here it has come. See the length difference? It's gradually decreasing. And next again it is decreasing. And finally it has come to 1 point. So these 2 points coincide and came to one single point. This side also, see the chord length. This is the chord length. It is decreasing. Again it is decreasing. Finally it has come to 1 point. So this side also it's decreasing, the chord length is decreasing and coming to 1 point, and this side also it's decreasing, chord length is decreasing and coming to 1 point. So this is also a tangent and this also is a tangent. So when secant moves to both the sides and when it touches 1 point on the circle, secant will change to tangent. So here also one tangent got, here also one more tangent you got. These two tangents are parallel because we were drawing the parallel secants. So these both the tangents are parallel. From this it's clear that there cannot be more than two tangents parallel to a given secant. The given secant was PQ. So here one tangent you got, here one tangent you got. They both are parallel. So for given one secant, only two tangents will be parallel to that. Now here I am giving an example for tangent. See, have you seen a bicycle tire moving? See, this is a bicycle tire, you just imagine. These are all the spokes of the wheel along the radii. Now note the position of the wheel with respect to its movement on the ground. This is the road. Road I have marked like this. So it's moving. See here, can you see any tangent here? See, this is a circle. Center of the circle. This is the road. Can you see any tangent here? Yes, of course. The road is where the wheel moving along the line is called the tangent here. So here just imagine, see this radius you take and this is the tangent. Here you just see the angle here. This will be 90 degree. So notice all the positions, whenever the wheel is rotating, you just see all the positions, the radius through the point of contact with the ground appears to be at right angles to the tangent. So tangent and radius will be at 90 degree. This is a very important property. Now the first theorem of this chapter, we are going to prove the same thing only. The tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. So this is the point of contact. The tangent will be perpendicular. Perpendicular means angle will be 90 degree to the radius. This is the radius here. Radius and tangent will make 90 degree, or radius is perpendicular to the tangent. This is the coming theorem. So first theorem statement, the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. So point of contact means where the line and the circle touch each other. So that point is known as point of contact. So diagram, first you have to draw the diagram. See, this is the diagram. Given a circle with center O, XY is the tangent, P is the point of contact and OP is the radius at P. So this is the data given. So data first you should write. A circle with center O and XY is the tangent, P is the point of contact and OP is the radius at P. So these are the things given. Given part is called the data. Circle with center O, XY tangent, point of contact is P and OP is the radius at point of contact. So this is data. Now what you have to prove? Next is to prove. what you have to prove? You have to prove that the radius through the point of contact is perpendicular to the tangent. That means OP is perpendicular, symbol for perpendicular to XY. XY is the tangent, OP is the radius at P. So OP is perpendicular to XY only, you have to prove. One construction is there. Construction is nothing but you have to consider a point Q on XY other than P. Other than P, anywhere you can mark one point Q and join OQ. Join OQ. So this is the construction given. So you have to write the construction. Take a point Q on XY other than P and join OQ. So now you got one more line OQ. Now proof. So data to prove and construction is over. Now proof part. Now OQ length you can write it as R. OP length. OP is the radius of the circle. So OP length you can mark it as R. That is nothing but radius. So now here you can see one point. You can mark it as EM. So OQ is OM plus MQ. See the line OQ, OM plus MQ. What is OM? OM is also radius of the circle only. So you can mark here also R. So what is actually OQ? OQ is OM plus MQ or R plus MQ. So obviously OQ is greater than R. OQ is greater than R or OQ is greater than OP you can say, or OP is smaller than OQ. So that is the main thing here. We'll just write it off there. OQ is equal to, there is no reason statement and all, directly you can write OQ equals OM plus MQ. OP equals R, radius of the circle. Now OQ equals OM. OM also is R only, plus MQ. MQ measurement you don't know. OM equals OP equals radius only. So from this what you can say? OQ is greater than R. OQ is greater than radius. Or you can say OQ is greater than OP. OP is radius only. So you have just changed that R to OP. Or you can write that is OP is less than, smaller to OQ. OP length is less than OQ. So any point on XY if you take also, this is applicable. You take this side one point. You mark it as F. OF you take. OF also will be greater than OP. So there also OP is the smallest one. Here one point you take. Mark it. That is also greater than R only. Here one point you take. That line also will be greater than R only. So any point on XY if you take also, this is applicable. And OP is the shortest distance we can say. OP will be the shortest distance. So you can write that since this happens for every point on the line, since this happens for every point on the line XY, that is the tangent, except at P, OP is the shortest distance we can say. Shortest of all the distances. Of the point O to the points of xy. So any point if you take also on xy, OP will be the shortest distance. So if it is the shortest distance, then definitely it will be perpendicular. So that is the conclusion. So if OP is the shortest distance, OP is perpendicular to xy. The perpendicular definition only it is like that. So if any line if it is given, perpendicular will be the shortest distance. Any other point if you take also it will be greater. So shortest distance if you have proved means you can conclude that OP is perpendicular to xy. So hence proved. It's a small theorem only, but it's very important theorem. This theorem you have to learn. So by this theorem, we can also conclude that at any point on a circle, there can be only one and only one tangent. That we have already learned in the property. The same property here also you can prove by this. There is only one and only one tangent at P. Any other type if you draw also it will become secant. So this is also very important. And one more thing is that this OP, the line containing the radius through the point of contact, is called as normal also. So OP you can call it as normal. So just understand that, nothing important in that. Now exercise 4.1. First one, how many tangents can a circle have? A circle can have infinitely many tangents. Through each point you can draw the tangents. So there are infinitely many tangents. Second main is fill in the blanks. A tangent to a circle intersect it in dash points. How many points? Only 1 point. So answer is 1 point. Second one, a line intersecting in a circle in 2 points is called a dash. You can only say that. 2 points if it is intersecting or 2 common points are there for a line and a circle, then we will call it as a secant. This is very important, fill in the blanks. A circle can have dash parallel tangents at the most. A circle can have infinitely many parallel tangents. But through one point only 2 parallel tangents will be there. That will be the endpoints of the diameter. If you draw the tangents, that only will be the parallel tangents. So here the question is, a circle can have dash parallel tangents at the most. They did not give any particular point. So answer is infinitely many. If they have given a circle can have dash parallel tangents through a point, if it is given means only 2 are there at the endpoints of that diameter. Next one, the common point of the tangent to a circle and a circle is called, what is that called? Point of contact. So all these questions you can copy down in your classwork. Next main is third main. A tangent PQ at a point P of a circle of radius 5 cm meets a line through the center of O at a point Q so that OQ equals 12 cm, then length of PQ is dash. So first you have to draw the diagram. So this is the diagram. Given the circle with center O, P is the point of contact, PQ is the tangent. So PQ, this side only is given, PQ is the tangent. This line fully it is tangent only. And Q is another point. OQ length is given as 12 cm. OP is the radius. It is given as 5 cm. So OP is 5 cm, OQ is 12 cm, and given that PQ is the tangent. So tangent at the point of contact and the radius will be 90 degree. This now you have learned. Tangent and the radius at the point of contact are perpendicular or their angle is 90 degree. So you are getting one triangle, right angle triangle here. One angle is 90 degree means that triangle is known as right angle triangle. So first what is given you should write here. OP equals 5 cm, OQ equals 12 cm, and angle OPQ equals 90 degree. So if this is 90 degree, triangle is right angle triangle. So right angle triangle means first what should come in your mind? Yes, of course it is Pythagoras theorem. So can you use Pythagoras theorem and find the third side? Two sides are given, one angle 90 degree it's given. Third side how you will find? Last year you have learned that. While locating root 2, root 3 and all, that time I have told and gave that Pythagoras theorem. So here also you have to use Pythagoras theorem only. So by Pythagoras theorem, hypotenuse square, 90 degree opposite, which is the biggest side, which is called the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse square is equal to hyp square is equal to base square. Base is PQ here plus side square. Side is OP. So with names, if you are writing means OQ square is equal to hypotenuse square is equal to base is PQ square, base is PQ plus OP square, side is OP square. So now what you have to find? You have to find PQ. So PQ is question mark that you have to find. So just substitute that values. OQ is 12 square equals PQ you don't know, PQ square plus OP is 5 square. Now this is in the form of linear equation. PQ square you keep it there, 5 square you bring it to the other side. So 12 square, change of sign, minus 5 square is equal to PQ square. Or PQ square is equal to 12 square means how much? It is 144 minus 25. How much is 144 minus 25? It is 119. So PQ how much? PQ square is 119. PQ is equal to, how you will find? Yes, take the square root. Square root of 119. So that much centimeter. So this is the answer. This question is very important for fill in the blanks. That is multiple choice question. 1 mark question they will ask. So learn this properly. So with this, I am winding up this session, children. Two homeworks I am giving for you. So homework questions. First one is, draw a circle and 2 lines parallel to the given line such that one is a tangent and other is a secant to the circle. So you have to draw a circle, 1 line you draw, parallel to that line, 1 tangent and 1 secant you have to draw it. Okay. Next one, prove that, the theorem only. Prove that the tangent at any point of a circle is perpendicular to the radius through the point of contact. So that same theorem only which I have explained. It's a very important theorem. It will come for 3 marks or 2 marks sometimes. So learn that, learn properly. Practice the sums also, diagrams also, everything. Thank you, children.